Let's take a moment and check out the audio settings menu when the system is set up in its two-way standard mode on the Pioneer AVH-X1800S. So I'm on the USB source right now, and I'm just going to touch the gears, and we're going to go to the speaker here to get to my audio settings. The first thing we see here is the graphic EQ. We'll touch that to open it up. You can get more information about operating the graphic EQ and setting up custom EQ 1 and 2 on the graphic EQ video. Next up is our fader and balance control. We'll open that. Here we can fade to the right or balance to the right or the left. We can fade to the front or the rear. Make whatever settings there that work best for you. Once you're done with that, we'll go back up. Next up is our mute level, and we have a couple of different things to choose from here in the mute level. We have attenuate, mute, or off. Attenuate means when I get a phone call or when I get turn-by-turn instruction from my navigation system, the optional AVIC U280 navigation system, the music will attenuate or just lower in volume. If I choose mute, the system will completely mute the music until the instruction or the phone call is over. And if I don't want the music to attenuate or mute when I make a phone call or I get turn-by-turn instruction, I can switch the system off. I like to have that completely muted, so I'm going to choose to mute the music when I get turn-by-turn instruction from my nav system or when I am on a phone call. Next up is my source level adjuster. We'll just adjust this up a little. Next up is my source level adjuster. We'll open that screen. And as you recall, we started off this video with the USB source on, and that shows right here is the USB source. And here we can make the USB source a little louder or a little quieter as compared to FM. And the idea here is as I switch between my sources, I should not hear a big volume jump either louder or quieter among all the sources, and so we use the source level adjuster to adjust the source level volume as compared to FM. If you are on the AM/FM radio source, the source level adjuster will be grayed out. So the source level adjuster is not there if you're on the AM/FM radio source. Next up is our subwoofer control. We'll switch that on or off right here. And next we have our speaker level. Let's scroll down a little further there. Let's open up our speaker level control. Here we have a representation of the two front speakers in the car, the two rear speakers in the car, and the subwoofer. And we have the ability to raise or lower the volume of any given speaker as compared to all other speakers in the system. This is part of a very powerful digital signal processor built into the system. We'll go back up. Next up, we have our crossover settings. We have a front crossover, we have the rear subwoofer, front crossover, and rear crossover available to us. For more information about using the crossover system, be sure to check out the video called Two-Way Standard Mode or Three-Way Network Mode. Let's go back up. Next we have our subwoofer settings. And this is just a shortcut to get to the crossover and slope settings for the subwoofer. Again, for more information here, be sure to check out the standard mode 2-way or network mode 3-way video. We'll go back up. Next up is our listening position. Right now it's switched off. We can use the listening position to focus the image to the front, the right, the left, or to all listeners in the vehicle. And we'll go back up. We'll scroll along here a little. Next up we have our time alignment settings and our auto EQ and saved settings for auto EQ. For more information about the time alignment and the auto EQ settings, be sure to check out the time alignment video and the auto EQ video. We'll scroll along here. Next up we have our bass boost, and here we can add a little more bottom into the system up to a +6, or we can take that back down to 0. And our final couple of settings here are rear speaker output. We'll cover that in just a moment. Next up is our loudness control, and we can set our loudness to low, mid, or high. We'll set it to mid level for right now. You can choose the loudness control that works best for you. And last we have our automatic level control. Automatic level control has two different modes, mode 1 or mode 2, or we can switch it off. And automatic level control will help to control the volume of any given song as compared to other songs that you are listening to. Some songs are recorded louder or quieter than others. In automatic level control, this will attempt to level out the overall volume of the source. So we'll choose off for right now. And let's go to our speaker output, which right now is grayed out. We can't get to it. In order to get to that, we need to go out and turn the source off. So we're going to touch the home button here. And we will open up our AV source screen, and we're going to choose source off, not power off, but source off. Once we've done that, let's go back into our audio settings and scroll down to the bottom where we can get to our rear speaker output. Right now, rear speaker output is set to rear, which means it's a full range output on our rear speaker outputs. If we want to switch that to subwoofer output, we can do that as well, and this would make our rear speaker output level a subwoofer output. For right now, we'll keep that as the as full range output. When you're done making your adjustments here, you can just hit the X to escape.